Arriving just as the 2025 F1 Drivers' Championship hots up is Codemasters and EA Sports' latest F1 entry. The changes coming in F1 25 are vast, and we've attempted to include as much detail as possible in the 15 entries shared in this feature. One thing worth pointing out at the start, however, is EA's decision to halt support for past-gen consoles. F1 25 is current-gen only, so keep that in mind. Whilst obviously disappointing to some, this move has allowed the developers to channel maximum resources into F1 25's innovations, and which there are plenty of. With EA's just released driver ratings, including McLaren's Starlet Oscar Piastri in questionable 8th, hype is building. This has potential to be the best F1 entry for years. LiDAR scan tracks. Unprecedented visual fidelity and authentic circuit replication has arrived. In F1 25, the look and feel of 5 circuits has been upgraded via LiDAR scanning. The tracks, Bahrain, Imola, Miami, Suzuka, and Melbourne, were scanned during an F1 race weekend to ensure barriers, advertisements, lighting, foliage, track surfaces all now appear true to life as it was during a Formula 1 event. Additionally, LiDAR's billions of data points translate to track realism, bumps, elevation changes, off-camber corners, curb heights, presumably demanding more skill to master. Also touted here is a sense of speed for players that's the closest it's ever been to what real-life drivers experience. Reverse circuits. Is this a gimmick or something that will actually catch on? Either way, EA are dipping their toes into reverse circuits for the first time in F1 25, without players using cheat codes, of course. 3 tracks will be raceable backwards: Silverstone, Austria's Red Bull Ring, and Zandvoort, with the later's NASCAR-style banked final curve transforming into a dramatic first corner fling in reverse. EA haven't just 180 flipped the cars though. No floor decals, lights, pit crew formation, everything needs to function authentically in reverse. Boosting authenticity further are adjusted racing lines, tire wear, and drying lines which form after rain. My Team 2.0. The number of changes coming to F1 25's My Team and Driver career modes is head-spinning here. The most fundamental change to My Team, however, evolves players beyond manager-cum-racers to more focused team owners, albeit ones who can still get behind the wheel. Overseeing day-to-day corporate and engineering activity features heavily via close financial scrutiny, and split for the first time research and development respectively. Alongside this, demanding personal management, including the competing concerns of your driver lineup, and a need to nurture company-wide morale. In My Team 2.0, not only do team owners offer contracts to drivers they deem worthy of racing in their livery, but either driver is controllable from the cockpit during race weekends. My Team 2.0's more meaningful strategy calls. When researching upgrades for your car, you can opt to channel funds into new parts for both cars, thereby benefiting both drivers equally. Alternatively, concentrating R&D budget on parts for your informed driver's car yields shorter development times, but potentially leaves you de facto number 2 driver feeling disgruntled. The knock-on effect being a tougher process when renegotiating contracts. Another example of F1 25's deeper strategy calls. Your number 1 driver might be gunning for world champion, thus you'll want to step into his cockpit to see him over the line yourself. Or maybe your second driver isn't performing well, so you'll decide to race in his car to maintain a healthy position in the Constructors' Championship. Breaking point 3. F1's blockbuster story mode returns in 25, beginning with the rise of Aiden Jackson in F1 2021, to the introduction of fictional team Cornersport in F1 23, to now. Cornersport are no longer minnows. In F1 25's Breaking Point 3 campaign, they're fighting for championships, and it's down to you to steer them towards glory. F1 25's upgraded cutscenes, thanks to what EA terms state-of-the-art motion capture, feature here alongside rebalanced difficulty options, ensuring this mode appeals to newcomers as much as seasoned racing veterans. Revisions to car handling. F1 25's visual pizzazz is all well and good, sure, but car feel arguably dominates the innovations returning F1 players really want to see. It's been a bone of contention amongst racers for F1's last couple of entries, but it does seem that F1 25 EA are attempting to rectify prior entries' lack of car feel. Through rigorous testing and feedback gathering, evolutions to controls, tire and aerodynamic performance, and power unit behavior are coming, with wholly revised car handling the result. Car handling revisions in detail. Whether using a controller or a wheel, steering promises to feel more intuitive thanks to tarmac physics closely aligned to evolving track conditions that are blended with consistent fine-tuned steering rates. The result, at least hopefully, is a clear understanding of where the grip is, thus opportunity to push cars to their absolute limit. Tire models overall are recalibrated with, for example, aggressive driving styles overheating tires more realistically. Via a refined slipstream model, aero performance is more pronounced, most notably perhaps when trailing the car in front's dirty air. Via F125's revised power unit performance, smoother clutch shifting, remapped throttles, and recalibrated energy recovery systems imply deeper strategic racing via the demand to manage pace. AI enhancements. Another element players of prior F1 titles feel is underwhelmed is in how AI-controlled racers behave. EA state racing offline against computer-controlled rivals should feel as thrilling as it does when watching the sport in real life, so for F125 they've performed extensive playtesting with a raft of highly skilled F1 players, translating their overtaking skill, defensive maneuvering, and overall racecraft into data to feed back into their revised AI models. On-track behavior and tactical decision-making should, hopefully, be far more realistic as a result. New decal editor. F125 introduces a brand new decal editor with freedom to customize car liveries far more widespread than ever before. Now, sponsored decals with numerous design variants can be moved, rotated, and resized instead of positions previously just being fixed. New fonts and colors are now available for driver numbers too. The biggest addition though is with sponsor liveries, providing detailed patterns that are shaped around your team's main sponsor, ensuring a cohesive appearance for your car is much easier to achieve now. Path tracing introduced. PC exclusive and available via the new Ultramax graphic setting, lighting in F125 can now exude all the vibrancy of path tracing, so long as your hardware is of course up to it. Shade, light, and color shifts realistically through every inch of race tarmac. Light sources, both direct and indirect, bounce and reflect off a multitude of surfaces and textures with lifelike precision, whether racing under Singapore's nighttime city lights or speeding towards Abu Dhabi's sunset. Invitationals, a brand new collaborative mode. Invitationals are newly introduced multiplayer events available via F1 World. Once an invitational is received, access can be shared amongst your friends, and together you can race towards a shared objective, with in-game rewards the prize. Be warned though, some invitationals are much more challenging than others, but the harder the task, the more lucrative the rewards. Newfound emphasis on respectful racing. There isn't much more infuriating than online competitors deliberately sabotaging your race, so in order to promote more respectful multiplayer racing, EA are updating their Driver of the Day system to hopefully at least encourage players to manage their reputations better. Accomplishments recognizing clean racing and fair overtakes are also highlighted by EA as something F125 is pushing onto players. Release date, platforms, and price. F125 releases worldwide on May 30th, 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. The game's standard edition is priced at £69.99/$69.99 for console and £49.99/$59.99 US on Steam, featuring Oliver Bierman, Carlos Sainz, and current championship leader Oscar Piastri as its cover stars. Pre-ordering F125 standard edition nets you the F175 Celebration Pack, F1 World Starter Pack, and 5,000 Pitcoin. Iconic Edition. Featuring 7-time champ, or 8 depending on your allegiance, Lewis Hamilton, newly adorned in Ferrari red as its cover star, F125's Iconic Edition as priced at £89.99/$89.99 on console and £69.99/$79.99 on Steam. Pre-ordering grants 3-day early access in addition to numerous other perks, including an F1 World Bumper Pack, F1 The Movie Chapter Scenarios, and APXGP Team Pack, a suite of 2025 liveries, 18,000 Pitcoin, and a 1-month subscription to F1 TV Pro if you're based in the USA. Lewis Hamilton's the star, so of course a handful of Lewis-themed extras are bundled in here. A Lewis Hamilton Iconic Pack featuring exclusive in-game customizations, and a Lewis Hamilton F1 World event. As with prior F1 entries, EA are operating a loyalty discount of 15% off the game's upper-tier edition for owners of F123 and F124. PC requirements. As per F125 Steam listing, minimum PC requirements include an Intel Core i5-6400 or AMD Ryzen 3 1200 processor, 8GB of RAM, an NVIDIA GTX 1060, RTX 2060, AMD RX 570, or 6700 XT GPU. Network speeds must be at least 1 MB/s up with less than 60 ms ping. For the best experience, you'll need a powerhouse Intel Core i5 9600K or AMD Ryzen 5 2600X processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and an NVIDIA RTX 2070 or RTX 3070, an AMD RX 6600 XT or RX 6800, or Intel Arc A580 GPU. 3 megabytes per second upload speed at less than 30 ms ping are the recommended network settings here. VR support across all the usual headsets is also available with an NVIDIA RX 6700 XT amongst the recommended GPUs if you're planning on playing on your Meta Quest. Whatever system you're rocking, you'll need 100 gigabytes of storage space. So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.